Hi there, VC. Dave back with you on a Sunday, Sunday the 4th, and this is my, we're halfway through Freddy Bigstar's Gimme 1070 series. We're all the way to 75, so halfway through the decade. Before I show my choices for 75, I'll just briefly run through. After I shot my 74 video, I thought of several others. There was one or two that I meant to show, but I kind of did that one in a bit of a rush, and I left out some major omissions. Okay, I meant to show Phaedra in my kind of honourable mentions, but I ended up showing Rubicon instead by mistake, which came out in 75. So Phaedra came out in 74. So. By Tangerine Dream, so meant to show that, but anyway. Another one which I had in the back of my mind, which I meant to show, was Vivian Stanshall, Men Opening Umbrellas Ahead. Vivian Stanshall, formerly of the Bongo Dog Doodah Band. Love this album. It was kind of neglected, and it recently re-evaluated and reissued. And this is the reissue, but did mean to show that one as well, but it just slipped my mind. Also, I meant to show this one as well. In Camera by Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill. What am I saying? Peter Hamill. Mark Hamill. Peter Hamill of Van der Graaf Generator. Solo album by him from 74. Yeah, this is another fantastic album. And finally, how could I have left this one out? Yeah, you just can't leave this one out from 74. 74 update Autobahn Kraftwerk. And this is the I think one Freddy showed had a different cover, but this is the UK version. This loon, and of course this is the image for my thumbnail. So how could I not have shown this? Anyway, that's it. Now on to 75. Now my first choice will be a CD, and that will be my only CD. Kraftwerk again. And Radioactivity. So following up Autobahn, Kraftwerk continued in this new direction with Radioactivity in 75. So really laying the groundwork for the electronic music and synth pop and music that was to come in the next few years of the decade and into the 80s. So you know, highly influential album. The Geiger counter, that was sampled. There was something sampled from that, wasn't there? My New Order, and of course Radioactivity. The main tune itself is just fantastic. Okay, that's it with the CDs. Now Freddy showed Mothership Connection by Parliament, and I don't actually have that one in my collection, but I do have an entry from 75 by George Clinton and Funkadelic's other well, you know, of course, Funkadelic and Parliament, as Freddy said, are more or less the same band. So this is by Funkadelic. This is under Funkadelic, and this is Take It to the Stage. And 75. This is an early 90s reissue from 92. So some stonking funk tracks on this. Shit, get off your ass and jam. Shit, goddamn. Yeah, I'd never get a job in the Funkadelic lineup. So yeah, so this is a fantastic album. And that is one of two, I think two, possibly, that George Clinton put out in '75 under Parliament and Funkadelic, the other being Mothership Connection. And in a slightly excuse me, in a slightly similar vein, this is Aphrodisia by Lonnie Smith. Now this is not Lonnie Liston Smith, this is Lonnie Smith, this is a totally different guy. Aphrodisia, this is funky jazz with an percussive African influence. And the artwork is very kind of, I'm not sure who did the artwork, but it's very reminiscent of you know, the artwork for Parliament Funkadelic album work. This came out on a label called Groove Merchant, and yeah, so this is some great, the title track in particular, Aphrodisia. This funky jazz, which kind of an African percussive beat going through it. And most of the names on this I'm not usually familiar with, but Ron Carter is on bass on this one. So yeah, so Bob Gross did the artwork. I don't know if that name is familiar to anyone. Okay, so that's Aphrodisia by Lonnie Smith. And moving on, now this is one absolutely seminal album that came out at the tail end of '75. I think it might have come out in November or December, and went on to be hugely influential again on more or less on the following year and in the years to come, and that is Horses by Patti Smith. So this really was kind of first real kind of salvo fired in kind of what would be known as punk rock. And so yeah, so what can you say about this album really? The main track, Horses, our cover of Gloria by Van Morrison, and really kind of a trailblazer for women in rock, and of course that cover, that iconic cover by Robert Mapplethorpe, again hugely influential, kind of in terms of, you know, album art. Yeah, so this is an original UK pressing, and on Arista. As I said when I originally picked this up and showed it, this is a very, very hard album to find in the wild. It took me ages to ages to find a copy of this. I think it has been reissued recently, but yeah, I found it just very, very elusive to find in the wild. But anyway, there we go. Patti Smith, Horses. Now, excuse me, Hawkwind have featured heavily in the excuse me, in Freddy Bigstar's in this series generally, shown by quite a lot of people. So this is their entry. This is they brought this out in '75. This is Warrior on the Edge of Time, and this, as far as I know, this is the last album to feature Lemmy. Lemmy, he fired from the band for his, I think it was something to do with, he was arrested in Canada, was it, trying to cross the Canadian border with drugs, or I'm not 100% sure, but anyway, yeah, this is, yeah, just fantastic, fantastic stuff. Space rock from Hawkwind. This by the way, this is a first pressing, first UK press, which I just absolutely have to. I cannot show this without showing you the fold out sleeve. So it folds out into the shape of a shield, and hang on, I'll show the other side. There we go. It looks yeah, it looks a bit like, you could say it either looks a bit like a face or a particular part of the male anatomy, whichever, you know. But oh, sorry, it's kind of yeah, yeah, goes in like that, and yeah, so fantastic album. As I said, the last one, very last one to feature Lemmy, and it came out on United Artists. Yeah, so Dave Brock. It's kind of vaguely a kind of a concept album, I suppose, with this, you know, this warrior kind of fantasy kind of thing. But yeah, so Hawkwind, Warrior on the Edge of Time. Okay, so yeah, this next up. This has been shown by I think Ben showed this, but Ricochet by Tangerine Dream, one of two fantastic albums that they brought out in the year '75. The other being Rubicon, which I mistakenly showed that in the '74 update, so I won't show that again. Yeah, but this is a live album, so yeah, yeah. What can I add about this as well that hasn't been said? One of two great albums that Tangerine Dream brought out in '75. Now, staying with kind of electronic krautrock side of things, Klaus Schulze. No, I'm pretty sure this came out in '75. I'll just double check actually. Okay, possibly. Yeah, okay. It's Picture Music by Klaus Schulze. Now, it says 1974 on the label, but I'm pretty sure I was looking this up beforehand, and it said it came out in January '75. So I'm open to correction on that. But anyway, yeah, yeah, this is one of my favorite mid-period Klaus Schulze's. Well, mid-period. What is mid-period? Kind of mid-70s maybe. From if you take Klaus Schulze's '70s out, but yeah, love this album. It's basically two long tracks. Electronic, spacey electronic. Workouts from Klaus Schulze. So he's actually recorded in '73 according to this. So yeah, maybe this is from '74. Actually, I'm probably got it wrong again. So I stand open to correction. Now, Van der Graaf Generator, one of my favourite English progressive rock bands. I really should have. I kind of regret not starting my responses to Freddy Bigstar's Gimme 10 from only '72 onwards, because I have some of their earlier albums which would have been great to show. But anyway, this is from '75. This is God Bluff, and so basically it's basically four very long tracks, and this is a reissue from the early '80s, but this is Was released in '75. Yeah, this is one of their best. This is actually one of them. I don't have any of their ones that came after this, which really I should rectify, because they did put out some pretty good stuff after this. But yeah, God Bluff. It's probably a bit easier to find than some of the earlier ones, so I strongly recommend grabbing this if you see it. Now, finishing up my last two out of Gimme 10. These two were both shown by Freddy and Ben Costello, but I just have to show them anyway. Yeah, Dylan, Blood on the Tracks. Freddy spoke quite well. As Freddy said, there isn't much you can add about this. Only that this is one of my favourites of Dylan's. And I was very lucky to find this this first pressing on myself and Ben's epic big dig. This more or less at the time unplayed first pressing. Ben, I don't know how many of you saw that video, but that both me and Ben did over a year and a half ago. But Ben, this is one of the PR haul. So anyway, yeah, what can you add about this album, really? Yeah, definitely one of my personal favourite Dylan releases, Blood on the Tracks, and a great breakup album, because that's basically what it is. Yeah. Again, Ben showed this, the Basement tapes, which was actually recorded in the mid-60s but released in '75. So again, I think Ben spoke quite extensively on this, so not too much more you can add to it. Yeah, recorded in '67 actually. Yeah, so but unreleased until '75. So it does qualify as a '75 release for this Gimme 10 series. So yeah, so and it was literally recorded in the basement. So in a basement. So the title is very apt. Okay, so that's this. That's 18 minutes. We'll leave it at that. That's my Gimme 10 for '75. So far I've only seen Ben and Freddy's videos, but I will try and catch a few more over the next couple of days. So everybody have a great weekend, whatever's left of it.